it's good news with Dick Baumbach. How are you today, Mr. Baumbach?
I am doing great, Jeff. And I just want to tell you that I'm really good about my teeth right now.
Speaking of teeth, let's just divert just a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about hair. What do you think about our new president's hair?
Well, as you know, if you had a picture of me, I don't. But the thing that I found interesting is when he was on, I believe it was Jimmy Fallon or something.
Yeah.
It was real hair.
It was real hair, I know.
I know. I was like, wow.
Anyways, I just had to throw that in there to lighten it up a little bit because anytime we talk about teeth, it kind of makes me a little unnervy. It brings back memories of the Marathon Man. Is it safe? Is it safe? So let's talk about your first headlines. Dental office will offer dental care to the uninsured for 1 day.
Now, Jeff, all of our listeners have to go to Queens, New York, but they also have to be residents there. Okay. Steinway Family Dental Center on February 3rd has free dental day.
Wow.
And it's for people who don't have insurance, etc. Now, they also strongly recommend, and if people out there listening to this, that they make an appointment, but it's also on a first-come, first-served basis, and they can only do 40 to 45.
Wow.
But
wow.
Totally free. And they said that it's emotional for them because people who haven't had anything done with their teeth in years come in, they can't believe it, and they walk out without a bill.
You know, John Maxwell calls this servant leadership, and that's pretty much what that dentist is doing. He's being a servant of the people. You know, there's is it Dial or Tide? One of them have a big van that they or a tractor trailer that they travel around with. They do similar, right?
They drop, yes, and especially like in situations where you have villages having problems or something. That's what they do.
Wow, that's an amazing story. You know, the next one is really amazing, and it really will tug at your heartstrings. And it's about a little boy who empties his piggy bank for his mom who had just been robbed.
Yeah, now this just hit me so hard, like it hit you. This happened in the Eugene, Oregon area. And Dawn Pritchard, she woke up on a Sunday morning and realized somebody had stolen her bank account information. And she was just in a total panic. And then all of a sudden, her 6-year-old came over to her and said, "Here's an envelope, Mom." And it said, "To Mom from Warren." Inside was $2 he had saved so that he could help Mom out. And Mom just said she lost it, but she lost it in a good way, that Warren would do that because she was so worried. And he really believed his $2 would help out.
That's an amazing story. You know, how do young children learn that in the first place?
Right. But you know, I mean, you think, it gives you goosebumps to think Warren was watching his mom so upset.
Yeah.
And he goes into his room, comes out, has an envelope, and says, "Here, Mom, this is for you."
Oh, that's amazing. You know, this next one we could do a whole show on this. So I'm going to have to refrain from talking a lot about this. But one factual dose can help immunize public against misinformation.
Right. And this really came out of some social psychologists. They started a study about climate change. And what they did is they wanted to see about misinformation from climate change, what would happen. So they got a group of people together randomly, and they gave them some misinformation, and then they introduced them to how facts can get distorted, and then they gave them some correct information. There were 37 people in the study, 37 out of 37 at the end said they now understood how to look at misinformation.
I wish we could do it on a national level.
Well, that's what they're talking about now. They're talking about taking this, and it was published in the journal Global Challenges, and it was the UK and George Mason University came together, but they are now talking about doing this for other things and then spreading it.
Yeah, that's let me give you an example of what really bothers me about stuff like this is that a lot of things are said in the news that you can immediately see as a fallacy, but it seems like people don't understand how to logically go through information. For example, Johnny owns a gun. Johnny lives in Texas. Oh my gosh, everybody in Texas owns guns. And that's what we're seeing is that, and it's the media that seems to drive this. Oh, everybody like that is like this. Or just because you like this person, everybody is like this. And we saw that throughout the campaign that took place last year, and we're still seeing it. And it just, it would make me, it would do us all good if it did take place. But how do you see it taking place? It's such a difficult thing. It seems like
one of the things that they said it's the media now is expanded to social media, so it's not just if somebody hears something on a network and then puts it on social media and tweaks it to make it misinformation. You think you have to blame somebody.
Right.
But they, in fact, so what they're saying, they need their study to continue on to get into that whole social media because that's where part of the problem lies.
Right, right.
People are taking stuff and changing.
Yeah, and social media. Just a few weeks back, there was a report that the CDC in Atlanta had been raided by the FBI and that the president had signed the order that they were going in, they were cleaning out the place, doing all this. And it was actually on a network had talked about it, that this was taking place. It was completely fake.
Right.
And people were going crazy over this. And they had taken sides. And it was just somebody put this article out there and they took it as gospel on social media.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of the issue with social media that everybody is starting to realize. We could put out and try and have a little humor that Jeff Heiser is going to run for the presidency in 4 years.
And you're telling them,
yeah, but exactly. But all of a sudden, Jeff Heiser is running for president.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my friend. Let me talk about it.
How do you see how the media has changed? You've been in the media for a long, long time. How do you see it?
Well, I think the thing that embarrasses me about the true news media is that they have become very opinionated. And if I had done that when I was a journalist, I would probably be outside sweeping the streets of.
I'd still bring you in.
But
give you a free cup of coffee and then kick you in the butt and say, hit the road.
I think my career would have been over. But I think what happened, we changed as colleges became more liberal and the journalism programs, and now you're going to have that. Whoa, do we go back? How do we do it?
Right.
Where do we find the middle?
Do you think that we'll ever have another Walter Cronkite type person?
I hope we have another. I've been thinking about you, Jeff.
No, I can't talk politics because I go crazy.
No, I really, you think of Walter Cronkite, you think of Tom Brokaw, you think of all of those, and they were just straight on.
Right.
They gave you the facts. But, the pendulum is, the election obviously shifted a pendulum. Now what's going to happen?
Right.
And if you keep lying to people or about something, And the people say, wait a minute, like we just talked about,
Right.
I found out that's not true.
Right.
You're going to be losing your
Credibility. Yeah.
I mean, and one last thought. I mean, look at the superstar Brian Williams. He's now on at 11 o'clock on MSNBC.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah. It just takes one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one thing. So speaking about one thing, here's something that took place 3 times. A man plunges under the ice 3 times to save his wife trapped in a lake. Now, was she in a car or was she?
No, they were on a snowmobile, and they plow the area around the backwoods of Quebec. And they always did this good deed, and it was so people could get through. Well, what happened, Kevin and Audrey Bernant were doing this last week, and all of a sudden they went on to an area they thought was a field. It was a frozen lake.
Oh, wow.
And so the snowmobile went down. He went down 12 feet, and he came back up, but he couldn't. She was stuck in the snowmobile. He went down 3 times to get her out.
Did he get her out?
Got her out.
Wow.
And then took her and him to the closest neighbor before EMTs arrived. And he's had frostbite from it and everything.
Right.
But they're both fine. And she says, he is my hero because I'm here today because of him.
Wow. Now, what happened to the snowmobile? I know that's.
I don't think anybody's looking for the snowmobile right now.
So you have a great story for the lead-in for next week, and I'm gonna close it this time, and I'm just gonna say 94.
94. That's not my age.
What else you got for us next week?
I got other great stories about firefighters, about things that you won't believe, about, like you said earlier, people helping people and saying, that's my life. That's what I do.
That's fantastic. So until next week there, Mr. Baumbach, have a great day.
You too, sir.
Take care.